A good neighbor. That's how friends of Oscar Mendoza described him when they contacted me to investigate this story. I'm Christina Mondragon in Jefferson Davis Parish, and I met with Mendoza's friends earlier this year who informed me Mendoza was held in jail days after he made bail. With the help of our team of journalists, we filed public records requests and began requesting interviews to seek answers. Mendoza, an undocumented immigrant, was detained here until ICE picked him up.
He was a friend of mine. He lived in a trailer park, and he was just a really great guy that helped out a lot of people in the trailer park.
I met Michael O'Connor, who reached out to me, saying Mendoza's time at the jail wasn't right.
He was a carpenter. I know a few times we needed help, and he would come and help us out. And a very nice man.
Oscar Mendoza is originally from Mexico and immigrated here to Louisiana. He was booked into the Jefferson Davis Parish Consolidated Jail on January 25th. O'Connor and family members gathered enough money, even selling a car, to bail their neighbor out. But instead of being released, Mendoza remained in custody and was eventually turned over to ICE. KATC Investigates obtained public records showing the timeline of events from Mendoza's arrest to when he was picked up by ICE. The receipt shows that Mendoza's bond was paid on February 6th. For people who are undocumented and incarcerated, an immigration detainer may be requested. The detainer informs law enforcement agencies to hold the undocumented individual for a period not to exceed 48 hours beyond when he or she would otherwise have been released. According to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement website, if ICE does not assume custody after 48 hours, the law enforcement agency is required to release the individual. The law enforcement agency may not lawfully hold an individual beyond the 48-hour period. Yet Mendoza was detained in the jail 5 days after his neighbor posted his bond and was picked up by ICE on February 11th.
I've contacted the warden three different times asking him to release him, that his rights were being violated.
And what did the warden tell you?
He laughed at me and told me that he wouldn't release him until ISIS comes get him.
I wanted answers as to why Mendoza was not released after he was bailed out, so I called and emailed the assistant warden, who said my emails would be forwarded to the warden, but I never received a response. So I went to the sheriff's office, which oversees the jail.
He was brought to our jail. We facilitated him. He went to the city court in Jennings. When we were notified about him having bond, we contacted ICE, and they were here within 24 hours, actually. They were here the next day that we knew about it.
Jeff Davis Parish Sheriff Kyle Myers said he wasn't aware of the bond being paid until a day before agents picked up Mendoza and suggested I talk to the city court. I reached out with my questions. The clerk of court provided a statement to KATC saying the city court of Jennings sets bonds for alleged criminal defendants subject to its jurisdiction. The bonding out process is handled independently by other agencies outside of the knowledge or control of the City Court of Jennings. I followed up with additional questions but did not receive a response. I met with immigration attorney David Rosas, who is not personally involved with this case, to get some answers regarding ICE detainer holds. Was that followed according to these public records?
According to the public records, no. It shows that the bond was paid on the 6th. He should have been released at the latest on Monday. And according to the public record, it looks like he wasn't picked up by immigration until the Tuesday, which means he was held unlawfully past his due date.
Mendoza's neighbors also feel that Mendoza was held longer than he should have been.
Mis niños lo tomaban como un tío.
One of them spoke to KATC anonymously, saying she fears local law enforcement agents may target her and her family.
Solucionaba el problema, siempre él andaba ayudando a todos los de aquí, a su alrededor, y pues un hombre trabajador, muy amigo con todos, pero no sé por qué pasó por ese proceso. Creo que algo muy injusto.
If an undocumented immigrant is held longer than the ICE 48-hour detainer hold, what legal recourse or actions can be taken?
I mean, technically, I think there's a 1983 action that can be done in federal court where someone can file suit for being held illegally. You know, whether or not they're able to get their day in court timely, I don't know. You know, I've never seen that happen. I'm sure it happens in some states. I'm not seeing that specifically happen here when it comes to an ICE detainer. I've seen, you know, we've oftentimes through the last 20 years filed habeas proceedings to be able to get them out and moving the case forward. But I think technically it's a violation of their constitutional rights. It's of being free after being held.
Oscar's neighbors, who miss him and his helpfulness, feel that his absence could have been avoided.
Ellos quedaron de que lo iban a dar en 48 horas y pues pasaron las 48 horas y nada, al contrario, los movieron más bien de cárcel.
I spoke with Mendoza by phone. He informed me after being picked up, he was taken to a detention center in Alexandria.
People coming over here that are legal immigrants, that they're normal people just like us, and that they have rights and that they should be treated rightly. And that's what I think is not right about this situation.
Mendoza has since been deported back to Mexico, and his friends say they lost a dear friend and wished he could have stayed. I'm Christina Mondragon reporting in Jefferson Davis Parish for KTC TV3.